Hi, it's day 5 on my journey, and today I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about self-worth. So, there are a bunch of people who go through life criticising themselves for every single mistake they make. They beat themselves up continuously for it, and they go through life with a severe lack of self-worth because of that, because they're always focusing on the mistakes they've made and the bad things they've done. And then there are some other people who go through life and they're continually criticising the mistakes of others and pointing out their flaws. And essentially, that's two different approaches to the same problem, a lack of self-worth. Because you see, anyone who is comfortable with themselves will not feel the need to criticise somebody else. Only people who aren't happy with themselves on a deep fundamental level will criticise other people, because it's a means to make themselves feel better. So essentially, how you need to approach this in your mentality is not to fear criticism, because there are two types of criticism: positive criticism and negative criticism. Positive criticism comes from a place of good. It's where someone is trying to help you to grow, to see where you're going wrong in life so that you may surpass that, outgrow it, move on and become a better person. So they will point out your flaws and try and help you to overcome them. They'll support you to do so. They'll give you reasons for why they're bad and where they'll take you, and they'll give you some guidance as to how to overcome them. Negative criticism is just name calling. It's just someone finding a fault with you or something that they don't like, pointing it out just as a simple means to make them feel better. So we can't fear positive criticism, because it's a means to help us grow, to achieve a better level of understanding of ourselves and to grow beyond that and become a better human being. And we shouldn't fear negative criticism, because negative criticism speaks more about the person who's saying it than it does about who's receiving it. So if someone's called you a name, then that says more about them than it does you. It says that they're not happy with who they are, and they need to point out the flaws in other people in order so that they can feel better about themselves. And that's a very sad approach to life. So when you see people doing this, or when you hear people doing this, really we should be pitying them, because on some fundamental level they're so unhappy with their lives that they feel the need to criticise other people just to make themselves feel better. But you see, that's not going to work. That's never going to make them feel better, because at some point down the line they're going to develop guilt for all the hurt and pain they've caused, which is going to add to their misery and their lack of self-worth. So we need to try and help these people get out of that rut. So if somebody criticises me again negatively, I would like to be able to say to that person, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever opinion you have upon yourself, which makes you believe that by criticising others you're going to feel better about yourself. I would like to understand you better so that I can see your self-worth, and I can encourage you to see that in yourself, because it's just an unpleasant world if we go around criticising each other just because we're not happy with ourselves. And it's so sad. It's really sad to see that. And when you do see it that way, it alters your perception of other people. So even the bad people you can see are damaged in some way. They're not broken, because it can always be fixed, but they're carrying some damage and some baggage around with them from something that's happened years ago, probably through childhood, when you're at your most malleable and your brain's forming all its connections and working out how it is on this path through life. So yeah, to encourage other people to grow rather than putting them down, because it's so easy to join in that. If someone hurts you by saying something nasty, it's so easy to throw that back, or throw something else similar back at them, to criticise them, to make them feel bad about themselves, which is really bad, because if we're aware of it ourselves, then we're stooping to their level to make someone feel even worse about themselves when they already feel bad enough to be criticising us in order to feel good about themselves. It's a vicious cycle. It's a very vicious cycle, and one we need to really make an effort to step out of. So I would like to encourage you to look at yourself, to think about who you are, to think about what you're not happy with about yourself, and to work on changing those things, and to also look at other people and see them for who they are. Instead of seeing them as nasty people who wish to do us harm, see them as people who are hurting inside and need to be healed. And if you can, offer them the love and guidance that they need in order to heal, and the world will be a much nicer place. Thank you.